Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be playing 7 Day Spiral. This is a game by Remington and it looks cool. It's a game about building horror, uncanny obsession, and mundane made impossible. There are 3 different modes of play. You can play 1 to 4 players. You can play the traditional way with the game master, collective way as a storytelling game, or a journaling game. I'm going to be playing it as a journaling game today, and just go ahead and get into it. What is the spiral? The spiral is the main horrific thing in your game. This could be a peculiarly obsessive stranger, an all-consuming forest, triangles, or anything else. Keep them weird, unusual, and interesting. The first prompt will help provide direction for your spiral. The first prompt will help provide direction for your spiral, but it's up to you to shape and define it. The spiral should elicit discomfort and danger, even if that isn't immediately described. Okay, there are some principles to follow for 7 Day Spiral. There's number 1, horrific dread. Focus on building up the horror day by day. A good rule of thumb is for the terror of the spiral to begin on the periphery, on the outskirts, less concrete or tangible, and or smaller in threat. Each day the spiral should grow in horror, become a more central focus, become a more significant threat. Revealing too much too quickly risks diminishing the impact, mystery, and threat of the spiral. Number 2. Uncanny. Make the familiar strange and make the strange familiar. Dwell in disorientation, never allowing things to become too comfortable or predictable. Number 3. The weird and grotesque. Lean into the odd, uncomfortable, and disgusting. Avoid cliches, or when they are used, twist them into something new. Use evocative imagery that emphasizes the vile and the visceral. That's something Junji Ito is very, very, very good, which this game is inspired by him and his work. And number 4, flexibility. Feel free to interpret prompts loosely. Don't feel self-conscious about whether or not you are following a prompt correctly. That being said, many prompts that don't seem like they fit at first can lead to surprising and compelling results. It's also acceptable to revise or retcon details to your previous answers. Similarly, the days of the game don't technically need to be the literal days. While that's the default, nothing is set in stone. 7 Day Spiral. So, to begin, I'll roll for the spiral. Got a 2. Lockdown. Ooh. The local authorities have advised everyone to stay inside, but are vague about the reasons why. What is going on and where are you stuck? This seems oddly familiar. So my brain first goes to, like, zombie outbreak, but that is very, very cliche. So I'm going to be stuck at home, but I have a pretty good view from the window, and while we are advised not to look outside, even, I saw one of my neighbors just decide to ignore the warning and go outside, and they instantly, like, disintegrated, basically, just, like, burned to a crisp. So, seems like the heat waves are a little out of whack. But I don't really know what's going on exactly, why this is happening. Just that the authorities are like, you have to stay inside, it's dangerous to be outside. And then the only proof I have is what I saw out my window. So day 1. Roll another 2. You confide in someone about the spiral. How do they react? Do they take your concerns seriously? So I feel like at this point, phones would still work for now. So I probably called like my mom or my grandma. I was talking to them about it, trying to make sure they were safe. You know? Like, maybe I tell both of them. And they probably don't take my concerns super seriously. I probably have a tendency to take things a little too seriously, and they have a tendency to take things not seriously enough. So they probably think it's one of those instances to some extent, except they know it's rooted in, like, with the authorities and everyone trying to make public statements to keep us on lockdown and stuff. I think they would take me a little bit more seriously than they would otherwise. So then day 2. 5. A strange shop opens up with symbolism or iconography of the spiral. Okay, so I'm stuck in my apartment. I'm at home. I am, you know, peeking outside, I'm getting a little stir crazy here, you know, it's day 2. But not anything I can't handle. So I see this strange shop go in across the street, like directly across from my window, and I can see this symbol. And I've never seen anything like this before. It's also really weird that anyone is allowing a shop to open up with, you know, the chaos going around, you know, people burning, basically. Disintegrating, however you want to say it. So I'd probably ponder that for most of the day and watch to see if anything strange happens. Day 3. The spiral, or a representation of the spiral, appears in an unexpected place. Okay, so what if the spiral, like, marks people? And like, that's the next person who's in line to be, you know, taken by the spiral. Maybe they don't actually disintegrate in this, well, they disintegrate in this world, but it's more like they go through a portal into another world. But they just appear to have disappeared here. So day 3, I find the spiral. I feel like it'd be somewhere stupid, like a ceiling blade fan. Ceiling fan blade. Yeah, I feel like it'd be somewhere stupid, like a ceiling fan blade. And so I look up and I see the spiral and I'm like, oh no. Of course, keep in mind that I don't actually know that this spiral's marking people, but that's why this is happening at all. I think that I just can't go outside or I'm gonna burn to death. So I probably think that's weird, and I think that somebody's broken into my apartment and am on edge for like the whole day. And go to day 4. 3. You find a disfigured corpse. So I'm gonna say that I have a roommate that I've been stuck in my apartment with. And they've been fine, you know. A little concerned about this spiral thing, but my roommate decides to go outside and takes one step outside, and I hear a thud. So, being incredibly careful, I go to check on it and check on the sound. And I see that my roommate has only partially disintegrated. There's like half of a body here. And it's like the skin is melted. And like burned little holes in the whole thing. So it'd be like someone with tryptophobia's nightmare. But the rest of the corpse is gone, and now I no longer have a roommate, so hopefully I can still pay rent. Day 5. You find that an abandoned location may have some valuable answers. This is interesting. I don't know how I'm gonna leave. Maybe there's a storage room that's like in my apartment building. Because I was imagining that it was like an open layout apartment building, but it could be closed. And that would allow us to traverse freely throughout the building. So maybe my roommate went to go outside to like go to work or something. And I heard this noise and like a blood-curdling scream. And I go check and I see this tryptophobic's nightmare. And so I go to the only place I know that nobody goes. And it's like an old storage room. Doesn't really have anything in it. Maybe some old tennis rackets from like the 70s or 80s. And just little things that never got cleaned out. And I probably spend the rest of the day in that little storage room because there was this simple, and now my roommate is missing half a body and has holes everywhere, and you know, bad news bears. Yeah, so I'm probably very close to having a mental breakdown right now. 2. Day 6, you lose something or someone important to you, to the spiral. So I think day 6 would probably be the day that my mom decided that enough was enough. I'm going outside. I had previously confided in her about the spiral, but she decided to go outside, and my mom is nowhere. She's gone. She is dust. And, you know, I had to hear it from, I don't know. I had to hear it from my little brother. And he's freaking out, and everything's crazy. And then on to number 7, the final fate. Two, consumption. The spiral hungers and it must devour until it's satisfied. So day 7, everything goes radio silent. There's no news broadcasts. There's no radio stations. There's no TV programs. There's no cell service. The world is quiet. Till it's not. you can hear like it's like a stampede of people trying to leave this area, like my town, and they just one by one disintegrate until you can finally see this massive, let's see. So you finally see this massive, let's go with a spiral. It's like a spiral that's like descending deep into the earth and way up further than Earth's atmosphere. And it's just getting bigger with every person it consumes. And at some point, we all realize we're not gonna make it. So me and the few of us that are left in the town, in my apartment building, we hunker down in this hidden storage room that nobody remembers about. It was painted over years ago, and I accidentally fell into it and busted it open, and I hid it in case I ever needed it. So pretty much our whole town's gone. I don't know where the spiral went, but hopefully it doesn't come back. I'll never get the image of my roommate with all those holes and burned, melted skin. Only a half torso, or a half body. Never get that out of my mind. So that's 7 Day Spiral. I will probably play a happier game next time. I think I'm looking at this game called like Little Dung Guy or something like that. But hope you have a beautiful day. Don't forget to be nice to people. I'll see you later.